Are you live?
I'm live on, I think, Instagram. I'm live a bunch of places. I think. Whoops, wow. If I don't touch anything, we're fine.
Yes, we live, John. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yes, I see you on the group. I see you on your author's page, your business page. I see you on Instagram, and I see you on YouTube.
Okay, goody.
Brilliant.
And I see you on my iPad.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from.
Yeah, good morning.
We are so glad.
Welcome to day 3. Day 3 of the Energy Healing for Animals Masterclass. And this has been very fun. I'd love to hear where people are coming in from. So if you can share, Yasmin can tell me, because this little screen I can't even see. I'm afraid to touch. I don't want to touch because God knows I could lose my sound or my view. Anyway, please let us know where you're viewing from. Where are you viewing from? And we have lots to do today, lots to review, and lots of material. So, Yasmin, is anyone on today? And you may have muted me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, there are lots of people jumping on. We've got right now 31 people jumping on, and everybody's saying hi.
Hello. Hello,
and
hello,
let me
hello.
see. Oh my goodness, we've got so many people. Hi. From Mexico.
Wow.
From Western NC. From Wichita, Kansas, Jupiter, Florida, Central Florida, Naples, New York, New Providence, New Jersey, Central Illinois.
Wow.
This is so fantastic.
Wow, so fun. All right. Well, we will get started here then. So this is the Energy Healing for Animals it's the basic Energy Healing for Animals Masterclass. And it's been very fun so far. If you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. The school has everything from beginner classes for animal communication or energy healing, and soon nature and wildlife, to advanced to certifications. You can do a single certification for animal communication, for energy healing, or you could do the big program and do both, which is always my favorite, just because being really well skilled out there in the world is so important. So I also wanted to say that my mission has been shifting, if you will, just to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So my mission has always been to empower others to deeply connect with all life, so that together we can give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves, and ultimately raise the frequency of the planet. And so a couple of years ago, we put a number to that when we started the Facebook group, Learn to Communicate with Animals with Joan. And in that group, we did a master class then on animal communication. And I said then that if I were to put a number on that mission, the number would be to help 1 million animals. And I know we did it. We got a lot of great souls together. Many of them joined different programs, different levels in my school. And many of you still come on to the lives and are part of the community. So I know we hit that 1 million because I can't do it alone. It's we. It's a we thing. So for us to be um, together in this mission, that's what makes things happen. And I know that a lot of you have a very similar um, mission. So in order to do that, um, I'm part of your mission and you're part of mine. So then last year we upped it to 5 million, and I know we hit it. And then this year we upped it to 10 million. And I know there's a lot of new people coming into the group and coming into my world. And so I really just want to welcome you and let you know that this mission is bigger than us and we're doing it. We're going to help 10 million animals. So, um, and today we're going to talk about chakras. But I wanted to um, really, for those that didn't sign up for it, I want Yasmin to go ahead and put that in the YouTube comments in the how they can sign up for it, because you can get the past um, handouts and today's handouts, and we have handouts every day. So getting these handouts, being part of the community, understand, being in the Learn to Communicate with Animals with Joan enables you to ask questions. So, all right. Was I live in Instagram? I couldn't tell.
No, you're actually not live on Instagram.
Okay,
if you want to go live there now, you can. But
no,
it's up to you.
I couldn't figure it out. I filmed some stuff and now I'm not going to bother with the camera, so I'm going to move.
No, so don't worry. Just keep focused here on Facebook and YouTube.
So anyway, I'd love for you to join if you aren't in the group, Learn to Communicate with Animals with Joan, and that's what enables you to be able to ask questions today. And also on Saturday, we're going to have a huge Q&A. And to be really lively in the Q&A, you'll want to be in the Learn to Communicate with Animals with Joan page. So now I'm having 2 drinks, water and coffee. How like me. All right. Yesterday was the last day of advanced animal communication, and I talked all day. I did this class. I did a 2-hour Q&A for the 11 a.m. and a 2-hour Q&A for the 5 p.m. And boy, was I done talking in the evening. So I just want to review what we've done, because I think it's really important before we move into chakras. So on Monday, we talked about the body, the physical body of an animal, knowing that in order to really shift energy, we have to really look at the body. And we're going to, again, look at it today with the lens of chakras. But if what we reviewed was that the body has a lot of systems that are seemingly invisible. Like we can't really, we could see nerves if we opened up the body, but we can't see neural pathways, we can't see meridians, we can't see that they function on cellular memory and muscle memory, and we can't see, we start to see the chakras and we start to understand the meridians. So those are all the systems of the body. And, it's very important to understand what goes on in the body so that we can really help. So then we had Rhonda here. Rhonda Gay did some body work, and it was really great to see her do some body work, and there's a lot more to it eventually. She'll be teaching through the school also, but just some of the things you can do to help the older animal and things like that. Those are and the super athletic. I know my dog Abby She is so athletic. She loves to just, I mean, she'll chest bump anyone for fun as if, like, hey, how's it going? And I mean, she rams other dogs. So I'm always glad when she meets some tough ones because they can take it. So, you know, she can put her body out of alignment in 2 seconds. And what does that mean long term? So, we really talked about the body and body work, how body work is energetic, and that they really go hand in hand. And that with a lot of the energy that gets stored in the body work is as important as energy healing. It is a form of energy healing, if you will. Um, then yesterday, we talked about energy fields, the field of energy in our household, the morphic resonance, the ecosystem, the um, the atmosphere, and how we must be the emotional leader of that because otherwise our households get cuckoo, and that we often will have animals in our household that are disruptors. And anyway, we have lot. We it was very fun, very lively, very informative, and we learned about the polarity, clearing the polarity to balance ourselves. And we also did a meditation about being able to bring our energy field in if we need to, but also extending it out if we need to. And so today we're going to um, go into the chakras. Hooray! How fun! And in this, you know, I wrote about them in both books. I don't have my other book sitting here, but in Energy Healing for Animals and in Communication with All Life. And Abby, are you going to join me? I guess not. So, for those that got a handout, you can see where they are placed on the body. And you can see, and I'll just go ahead and show you. This is, oops, there we go. So, this is from my book, Energy Healing for Animals. You can see basically where it is, where they're sitting. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what it means for the human and what it means for the animal, because you're going to see that really the link up to um, what can often be what's seemingly a behavioral issue, what can be a physical issue. And if we think about what the chakras are, again, going back to the handouts from the other day, um, they are, they can be, they can look like a circle, they can look like a disc, but they penetrate in to the system. And so you want to be able to, um, that's where it's like helpful to kind of know the anatomy, because you'll start to see the correlation between things like um, a funny tummy and anxiety. Like it's emotional and it's physical. And we'll go through that in a minute. Are there any comments? Is anyone saying anything, Yasmin?
I'm looking, there are lots of comments and everybody's still saying hi. And I just posted some information about the handouts, as you said, to sign up and people will get access to the handouts. Yeah, people are saying they love the book. Jennifer says, need to get me one. Jennifer says she loved the demo yesterday that Rhonda did. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
I've got a beautiful comment from YouTube that I was just watching Um, so nice. From this woman, she calls herself Organic Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I just used your technique you showed yesterday with the 2 fingers, swiping the forehead from right to left. Myself and both pooches then put up protection bubbles. I was already putting intention and protection up, then saw your videos and it confirmed I naturally know and listen to my intuition. Thank you so much, Joan. Always so grateful to you. My pups thank you and all life around. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Just thought I would read it.
Yeah, that's really great. All right. Well, I love that people are already utilizing the bubbles and the polarity stuff. So I want to take a moment, though, before we dive in, to just say, you know what, I'm going to set the intention for today. So let's just put both feet on the ground and let go of the day. Let everything really drain into the earth, and especially anything we don't need. Let's feel our little connection or our big connection to the divine, and our feet firmly planted on the ground. And we'll set the intention that we all gain a better understanding of our own household, the animals in the household, and how we can be better emotional leaders by understanding the chakras understanding them through the lens of the chakras, to see what is informing them behaviorally or physically. And so it is. Okay. So what I want to say is, again, I want to reiterate something we talked about the energy field yesterday and bring it into the physical. And that is, um, especially when you think of environmental toxins or even just the energy of emotions. So the energy of emotions, the environment, all of that collects, if you will, in our field of energy. And then it goes to its weakest point in the body. So anytime we've had some sort of a dis-ease, if you will, it has started to enter our field, our energy field, and penetrates through a particular chakra. And I can tell you that we'll go over all of them really briefly. I'll kind of just go through my book. And then we're going to really talk about the first 3 because that's where it's at. So when we think about the first chakra, we basically think of the root chakra, and that it's for the humans, it's our sits bones, right? Where right now, technically, I'm sitting on mine, and for animals, it's right up against their hind end and going in. And what it is for humans, it's our tribe, our family of origin, and then it becomes the community we build as we get older. Could be our own family, but it often, for humans, it often has a hook in us, right? It's very much, um, we revert back to old behavior because that's how we survived. And so when we think of survival and security, it's all wrapped up into that first chakra. And the other thing, physically, it's the immune system, the fluids, um, it's the hind legs for animals. And, well, before I go into that with animals, let's talk about what it is for animals emotionally and energetically. So, just like for us, it's like the primary family. For them, it's their herd, it's their pack. If we were to think of the wild and then bring it into our household, it's like the wild horses that I was with the other day. It's their connection to each other. It's the security of knowing there are others. With dogs and cats, it's the pack, it's the pride. For birds, it's the flock. Um, and even a lot of raptors that don't fly with big flocks, they're really solo. Most of them, or a lot of them, tend to have another. They tend to have a partner, and they fly for a while. I've had a baby hawk out here, a mom and dad and a baby that I've been watching for weeks. And um, so it's that togetherness, and the baby, no matter where it was, would just, I mean, it looked like such an adult. It was giant, but it was calling out constantly for its parents. So, you know, the togetherness, the the multifaceted, multi-species pack or family that we've created in our homes. So they are very connected. That first chakra is very the same as far as it is all about the community. And physically, it's the hind legs. It's um, it's the for some of the sexual organs. For females, it's the blood, it's the bones, it's the skin, it's the joints, it's the immune system, it's the whole survival, basically survival. Anything that would have anything to do with the physical survival. Um, and uh, when we look at, as a matter of fact, my dog is doing it right now. She is putting her butt in. Do you want to play? Do you want to play? And it's so for animals, that first chakra is so animated. It is so alive. Horses do the whole up, talk to the tail, and they do a quick spin and give you their butt. Dogs and even cats, often will check the pheromones of another cat. But dogs, their whole introduction is not nose to nose. That's much later. That's like, wait, hey now, you gotta talk to the butt first. So, you know, the first chakra is how they know that they are safe. Like I said, with my one horse that tends to spook a lot, when I got in the saddle, instead of petting her and saying hello, I would always reach back and touch her hind end and say, I've got this. Like there are, if you have a spooky dog, a spooky horse, a timid um, dog, even a timid cat, doing, always having, being able to touch that part is what is um, going to aid in their security. And then, so moving on up to the second chakra for humans, of course, it's creativity and our sexual reproduction, and that would be considered creative. Um, my lives are much more interactive, and I can get a lot more coffee in. This is tough if it's just me talking. Anyway, um, so the second chakra is creativity, one-on-one relationships, our sexual power. And for animals, when we think about it, we've spayed and neutered a lot of them, at least here in the States. I don't know what some of the other cultures do, but it's definitely, when we think about, we've kind of taken away a little bit of their power, of who they are. But we've replaced it with a different type of one-on-one relationship, right? Like we have the one-on-one relationship with them. So for, and for people, of course, it's reproduction, and animals would be if they were not spayed and neutered. So it is, but it's still the creative force and it's still the relationship. So it's their relationships with us, their relationships with each other. And that's something that we don't always look at with animals when we're looking in the chakra system. And so when we know somebody really needs to have a deep relationship, and it's not their, for example, I had a dog that came in that was feral, and she was very skittish. And at first, I couldn't even touch her. And so she really bonded with my other dog, and I learned that I could teach her everything through the other dog. She was very first, second, and third chakra, and especially second chakra. She had been, when she was found, they went to spay her and ended up aborting 12 puppies. So she was so, talk about having all your power and your creativity and your nurturing taken away. So it was like a big hole or void to fill, and we filled it with the other dog. And so that relationship, she even died 1 year to the day of the other dog. And so when we look at, sometimes it doesn't have to be us that fills that void. Sometimes we have to really honor and help the animals um, relate to each other. So that it's a very important. I mean, they're all important, of course, right? So then, and so it's the other thing that I like to look at with that second chakra of rebuilding it is how many households have they been in? How many times have they been rejected? How many times have they been um, left behind? How many times have they gone back to the shelter? How many times how many relationships have they had where they've really sought out bonding? We have Ayat in the big program right now, has a dog that she's fostering that's got some issues in that area. And she's just lost her person who's gone into hospice. The dog did. And so, you know, we go into a shelter and we just don't even see how much. We look at them and we say, oh my God, they're all traumatized because they're, um, we have a suspicion that they've all been beat up or something. And the truth is, they're grieving, and that second chakra is an area that we want to really boost. And we see it a lot with horses in that have gone through many homes. And so then the third chakra, again, this is for humans. It's our self-esteem. It's our our confidence, how we present in the world, and for animals, it's very much the same thing. So again, if their um, survival, and I'll go through the first three again in a minute. So we'll just really stick to the third. But what I like to say about this third chakra, especially for animals, because we've they live in the wild. Their survival is based on instinct. So this third chakra is what I call. It's not just hey, here I am in the world, but it's also hey, how I take in the world. It's all of the digestive um, organs and glands, and it's all of the working happens here, the digestion. It's how we filter. It all the filtering. This nutrient goes here, this nutrient goes there. Something's got to go through the liver. Like all of that is happening in that third chakra, and how they take in the world. So you start to understand why maybe you have a timid dog and they have digestive issues, why you have an anxious dog and you have digestive issues. To start to look at that animal from I'm not just going to treat the anxiety from the outside. What if I treated it from the inside out? So we want to do both, right? We want to look at all of these things from the inside out and the outside in. And then the fourth chakra, I always say the fourth chakra is, of course, it's our unconditional love and it's the animal's unconditional love. And that fourth chakra is also really that connection to the human world. The first three chakras, I think, are still instinct. They're running a bit on the connection to the world. But the fourth chakra is hey, I'm part of the human world. I'm connected to humans and each other, of course, and each other. And we see a lot of these, um, especially in the horse world, but also in the dog world, these horses um, that just want to please, and it just doesn't go. They get pushed too hard by trainers because they're super athletic, they're super talented, they're pleasers, and they get broken down in that front end. Like a lot of lameness. My own dog, Delilah, she's such a giant heart and just came into the household as joy. Many people see her as the bossy older sister if they come here because they see her in relation to the other two dogs. But just her on herself, she's like just a little butterfly, and life is grand. And she injures her front legs. I mean, she's just all heart. So often, our strongest point is also our weakest point, and it's really important to see that. And then with the fifth chakra, like us, it's very much our expression. And it goes hand in hand with that second chakra. If we can get the expression and the creativity correct, it's really easy to see the flow. Um, so the fifth chakra has um, a lot to do also with, I mean, the thyroid is sitting there, and energetically, I think of the allergies is sitting there. And it has a lot to do with their ability to be in the right job. It's connected to the third chakra too, because the third chakra, the confidence and purpose. Well, in the fifth chakra, how are we expressing the? How are we expressing our purpose? Are we in purpose? Do we get to be in purpose? Do we, like we see um, horses that aren't in the right job? We see dogs start to as the family dwindles. I explain this in the chakra class through the eyes of the family lab. Um, and as the kids go off to college, that purpose is often gone, and mom is like living with, she's an empty nester now. You know, takes up yoga or starts doing other things. That the life of that dog might start to dwindle, and we often see it in the thyroid and the weight gain and the things like that. So it's very also your dogs that pull. Are they expressive? Like, hello, I want to see you. Are they that dog? And then they end up injuring their neck, and often that can lead to the thyroid. So these are all really fascinating things to look at. And then with the third eye, I mean, I've seen so many dogs that are blind that it literally they develop their third eye, and it's crazy how much an animal can still see without seeing because of this. And we look at bats and dolphins, whales with the melon-shaped heads. They have echolocation, and I'm gonna let's see. Yasmin, if you can mute. I'm sorry. I hear you typing. Um,
Sure.
um, so it's the third eye still exists for a lot of animals in real time. So, okay, you're not muted. I'm sorry. How do I? There we go.
Can you?
You need to mute me on your phone.
It's funny that it's just. Can you? Yeah. Now let me show you on stream again. Okay, we all good. You can carry on.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You back on.
All right.
Hopefully.
Can you hear me?
I can see you now. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So what I was sharing is that when I was writing this book, Energy Healing for Animals, I had I have a had a stall had 3 stalls and runs, big paddocks for the horses. And at night when I would tuck them in, I would go out and I was on the third eye. So for a few nights I would go down to the barn and I'd feed my 2 horses normally. And then I'd come to Raleigh's stall and he would like to be out in the paddock. So I would shut my eyes and try to feel him. And as I felt, I would feel if I could find him in the paddock in the dark. And once or twice I would walk straight to him. Actually, more often than not, I would walk straight to him. But there were a couple of times that I'd walk into the fence and I'd open my eyes and I'd look at him and he looked at me like, you dumbass. But the point is that our third eye can actually work in a profound way, and animals still have that going on in a way that we don't. And so that's why when you see animals that have operations and they lose both their eyes, later on they still adapt so well. Yasmin, can you still hear me?
Yes, everybody can hear you and see you. You're good.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that I think that's a very important thing for us to realize is how much they are completely in instinct. Now, the 7th chakra is very much the connection to the divine, like it is for us. But I also want to point out it has such a connection. It's almost like we as humans are. It to me, that chakra for animals is their trust and their trust in us. So when we see animals that are really head shy, it's like they don't trust the whole universe. And I have a horse, Drakkar, who's new to me in the last year and a half. Came with he got stepped on early on, like maybe on day 2, by his mom. And I just noticed the other day that like at night I'm putting my hand on his head. Rhonda worked on him the other day, Rhonda, who was on day 1 with us, and she was able to do stuff with his head that even 6 months ago I wasn't able to do. And I just incrementally, he is, I've snuck my hands up there and gotten him. I mean, I've tapped on him, but it's always like a hey lady when I get to that point. um, but it is very much, to me, I almost cried the other night when I realized, oh my God, I'm just doing, his head is down and I'm just touching him. And it's, animals that have felt betrayed by humans or have had experiences often will have a very big fear there. And so it's not just our job to make them feel safe in the world, but to help them, I mean, if that's the contract, obviously, but it's to help them really restore faith in humanity and faith in the universe. And this is often where it shows up. So that was I didn't mean for that to go that long because I really wanted to go into the first, second, and third more specifically. And, but I will say, I want to talk a little bit, and I wonder, Yasmin, if people are starting to see their own animals through this journey we just did. But the one thing I want to talk about is, and demonstrate for you, is aside from the polarity, I really feel like there are, the bladder sweep is something that is really valuable, and I'm going to demonstrate that here in a second. But I want to talk about why. So when animals have had an injury, and this is where you may see your animal, when animals have had some sort of an injury, or they have a scare, they often leave their body. So when you see like that herd of antelope or springbok running from the cheetah, right? They go into that fight or flight. Now, if you've had an injury, you've had something, you tend to almost leave your body, and that's what makes you, you run on adrenaline. You're able to do what you need to do, and you're even though the hind end is the engine, and we see that you take off with that engine, but that front end is what is empowered by that hind end. And so at a certain point, it's almost like, how a spaceship like takes off and splits, like a body will almost split so that that front end is now driving. And what we see, like when we see a cat get scared and it goes down to hover, is they almost leave their body. They become two legs and a head. The front end is really what's driving to get them to safety. So that hind end is just gone. And when animals have had multiple injuries or multiple traumas, it's easy for them to leave their body. I used to tap on a very famous horse, do EFT tapping on a horse, that led me to a number of other international competitors. And this one woman, she said when she entered the ring, sometimes the show ring at night, we tapped with this horse to be able to perform at night. She would feel him I said, do you feel him just leave his body? And she's like, yeah, I never put a word to it, but he would just leave. And what happens if you're on a horse like that is that then they can spook, they can run off, or they just go away and you've got nothing underneath you. When you're in with a dog, if they can spook and you cannot get them back, or they go into fight or flight and they leave their body, right? Like you see them just leave and turn into, well, my dog turned into Large Marge, and which is a scary character from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But it can be very scary because it's like, I don't even know my dog right now. I don't even know who my dog is. And it's the same with cats. They can, you very much can see them leave their body as they do a hovercraft across the room. So one of the things, and I want to get this in because I don't know that, I think again I'm going to be looking at questions in the middle of the night. I don't have such a full day. I can actually look at questions. But Penelope, come. I'm waking her up from a deep sleep. Okay, up. I want you to come up. So one of the things that can really help, hey, Penelope, come up, is, can you see Penelope? Because I've got this little screen thing. Oh, there we go. All right, and now I can't see because the screen is so teeny. Is the bladder sweep. Now she just moved. Okay, the bladder sweep. And that is from bladder 1 with the meridians here is at the inside of the eye. So the bladder sweep is going from the top of the head to the end of the tail. Top of the head to the end of the tail. Top of the head to the end of the tail. So that's one thing you can do and then you do each leg down to the bottom there. 3 times to the end of the tail. And even if they don't have a tail, if their tail has been docked or they lost their tail, I would still do it energetically because you want to. Here's that other little foot. Anyway, now I've lost my place. So you do it. I know. Oh, let me in. Thank you. 3 times with each. 3 times down to the end of the tail. 3 times with each foot. I couldn't get to the other foot. But the other thing that's very grounding is if you can touch, and if you have a puppy, you want to do this a lot. You want to touch the bottom of their feet because you want them to stay in their body, and especially their hind feet. So, really being here to rub their hind end. I like to think of with those animals that kind of leave their body, it's like I want to put you back in, and I'm really going to concentrate on these first 3 chakras. The third, the second, and the first. And so, let's see, she loves that. That's her happy place. But anyway, is anyone typing in anything, Yasmin, about if they saw their own animal in this situation?
Yeah. Amy says that Amy Teft, one of her first Reiki dog shares was with a blind Jack Russell Terrier at a shelter. She saw me, in inverted commas, she saw me and climbed right up into my lap for her session.
I love that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. It's beautiful.
So many comments. I'm trying to go through everything.
I know. And I wanted to say that if this is of interest to you, of course we go into it more in depth in the we have a special this week during the class, the master class of the energy healing for animals fundamentals, and in there we go way more into depth, and also you get as a bonus. So the special is $100 off, but it also comes with the EFT and the energy healing with scalar and a lot of information about the chakras and a lot of other stuff. So essentially the EFT and the scalar are free, and you're paying $397 for the energy healing for animals fundamentals. And also, I might as well just throw it out there that I would give you the fundamentals if you signed up now for the energy healing for animals in the fall intensive, because it is absolutely you would come to class prepared, and then we can go to another level. Right? Did you like that? We would go to another level. To another level. That's what we want to do. Is we want to go to another level. I'm glad I found something. Anyway, any other comments?
I'm going to, just for everybody, there's been some questions. I'm going to post the beautiful, valuable offer that Joan has just spoken about. I'll post the link in the comments for everyone. And I've also posted, a lot of people were asking about your book. So I've posted a link to Energy Healing for Animals, the Amazon link.
Thank you.
And please also know, guys, that if you sign up, and I posted the link to sign up for the masterclass, then you will get the handouts. When you sign up, a lot of people have been asking about the handouts and they didn't get them. So when you sign up with the link that I've provided in the comments, you'll have access to all the handouts. You also get Joan's free gathering meditation, lots of yummy goodie stuff that come with the handout, with the sign up. So I'll post that again for everybody.
And yesterday, the meditation we did was similar to the gathering meditation. I love the gathering meditation. So, yeah, you get that when you sign up. So please sign up, right? And we'll go to another level. Okay. What, any other questions, comments, observations? Because we are running out of time. Tomorrow.
We've got 5 more minutes,
okay.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we get to do some EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique tapping, and it's going to be very fun. But I also want to say that I hope, I would love to hear if you see your animal in how we describe, the chakras. And something else to think about is, you can even, if you feel like there's a weakness in the hind end or in the, with like the third chakra with your timid or your anxious animals, I would, I think that even just doing a chakra massage of stimulating that area in a clockwise manner is helpful. And then really looking at your food, looking at the food you're making or purchasing, probiotics, getting that, absolutely that gut, to where, we've deadened our own senses through the foods we eat. Our instinct isn't nearly what it is. A dog could tell you 12 hours before a storm is coming in based on the barometric pressure changes. We could if we hadn't deadened our gut. And so animals have that superpower of instinct, and we have the superpower of logic, and that's where it should be a great combination. But we've deadened their instinct to some degree with the preservatives in foods. So I'm just trying to run off quickly the practical tips I was going to give, but I ran out of time. But the food is food, probiotics, exercise, all of that is really going to help that third chakra. Confidence, training helps, believe it or not. All the things that are going to help that third chakra, dog, cat, horse with anxiety, is really, and especially, we've got a class coming out with Jill and Joan called Organs, Meridians, and Emotions. And we've really been looking at food. As we've been writing that and then rewriting the 5 elements, it's been fascinating to just really look at how much food can just completely, it is the absolute, I know that, but food is one of the biggest technologies that we could use in our favor if we're really paying attention to what it is that they need. Anyway, I want to just close now with the idea that hopefully you're going to see your own animals in those profiles, if you will, those energy. You'll see where the weaknesses, where the strengths are, and how important it is that at the end of the day, they all really crave that sense of security. So it goes back to yesterday, how do we be the emotional leader? And it goes back to Monday, how do we keep them most comfortable in their body? If they're comfortable in their body and they're not masking pain or they're not struggling in some way, then they get to be the best they can be. And if we are the best we can be, then we can really create a wonderful household. And then it ripples out into the world as a high frequency, and that's that. So thank you for joining me. And I know that I have a lot of classes. I have so many things coming up in the fall. And if you have any questions, like you want to get on it, but you don't know where to start, you can always reach out to Shannon, and that's at info@joanranquet.com. So anyway, I will see you tomorrow. We will have big fun, and thank you for joining me today.